Easy. Don't know say boy Plumpy Boss represent for the United National Congress of Trinidad and Tobago. Auntie Kamla, you're the one for me. None of them never walk. Them only talk and talk and talk and talk. Yeah. UNC journey is only great leaders with we. Auntie Kamla, you are a heartbeat. Yeah. So much you talk about them, no one know what with we. Take it slow and yellow up the country. Humble as a lamb, but you ain't see a lion. And if you want change, can't vote for the lions. Kings and queens line up and the date dip your finger in ink and vote out the liars. Always alone cause in me head there's a riot. Everybody gone yellow, whole place full of flyers. Stay to yourself, calm and quiet, and give Chaddy prayers. Yeah, Auntie Kamla alone. Election time coming up, you and see lock every zone. What? Sure say this one back up and we taking it home. Swear to ya, money yellow on the streets and Auntie Kamla everybody home. Plus Auntie don't tell we photo them boys and everything good. UNC journey is only great leaders with we. Auntie Kamla, you are a heartbeat. Yeah, so much you talk about them, no one know what with we. Take it slow and yellow up the country. Auntie Kamla, you're the one for me, you're the best.
This is a story about a wet man, a sweet man, the village ram. Hey, hey,
Douglas Politics tomorrow night, Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Barataria San Juan. Will there be more revelations about the village ram? Ram Singh Sharma, Rowley, Ram Singh Sharma, Barataria San Juan, Douglas Politics. Saddam Hussein will balance, dance, and destroy that fellow. We won't even mention his name. The one-hit wonder. Barataria San Juan, the UNC is coming. Douglas Politics tomorrow night, Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. sharp.
Ram Singh Sharma, the village ram from San
Ram Singh, oh boy.
Listen, take some education. Listen, come on. Look back up your valleys there, B&M have to go. Just now is election, we bringing back UNC.
And it's back the deal with the B&M. And to you on the radio, and to you watching on TV, do not adjust your dial. It is Anil you're seeing right here, live and direct, never went anywhere. Because the Douglas could talk either way. Because the Douglas could talk either way.
Good evening and welcome to Barataria San Juan, the constituency that will be won by Saddam Hussein, the next MP for Barataria San Juan. And welcome. We're trying to take over this now. We must be COVID safe because Kamla says so. We're not playing. No porous borders, no CPL, no foreigners. Rowdy, stop the lying. Anyway, I'm going to start. And let me start off soft with all you. Actually, no. Must never go soft on the PNM. Drop the video there actually one time. The PNM hooligans. Hooligans, I say. The hooligans. They don't know what they want to do. And I have not heard a word from Keith Christopher Rowley. Not a word about this behavior. And the police, have you all locked up this man? Has he been charged? Do you all think it's funny? Only allowing the PNM to do whatever they want in this country? Well, come August 10th, it's all over for the Rowley PNM. Are you ready? Run it and show me.
Slap man. Slap man. It's why you want. Why you want? Hey,
Anderson, I'm free. Stop.
Yes. We don't know what is going on. But understand, that is assault with a deadly weapon. And I heard there's teenagers in that car, in a PNM jersey, and not a word from the great PNM leader, Keith Christopher Rowley. You have no shame. You're an embarrassment to the entire country, and we only have to take it for about 6 more days, boy. Pressure, but pressure does bust pipe and make diamonds. And on August the 10th, 2020, pressure that you put the country under will bring the diamond that is Kamala up to the top to sit down in that chair where she deserves to be, to take care of people. And let me show you, because not only Anil say so, you know, all your MPs and them, they know licks coming from east, west, north and south, from Point Fortin, Labre, Toko Sangre Grande, Tunapuna, St. Joseph, South Barataria, San Juan, across the board, down the road, Chaguanas East, into San Fernando West, Point Aped and gone. Look, even Champa knows so Archie. Champa girl, oh Lord, you look good in yellow, girl. You went and opened Dwight York. You paint up Dwight York and put on yellow. Shampoo, God, we know you like Rowley, but you didn't have to send such a powerful message to everybody in Trinidad. You are the Minister of Sport, and you are saying, vote for Kamala, Anil, Sancho, Naked, Saddam Hussein. Anybody there go be better for sport than you. So you go and you relax. One thing happened in the PNM. The only good thing is you look better than 2015. So that is a good thing, right? That is a positive. Now, in Barataria Sawa, the PNM are no shame. Them send a human being who has achieved nothing in his life. The only thing he do is sing one daughter song with the partner when Marshall was on a sabbatical and they win a road match by mistake. The one-hit wonder. He is the Milli Vanilli without hair, and he come to Barataria San Juan to deal with a serious man, a man who get AIDS from since early childhood center into primary school, into secondary school, into law school. Saddam Hussein, the honorable A student. They said a man who could barely count, never manage nothing, never run a charity, never help nobody, never meet people. He said on the radio and pretend he wasn't a PNM for 10 years while talking a set of nonsense. He come out now and coming down to whine and sweep broom and thing like that is something. He don't know what is a permanent secretary from a personal secretary. He don't even know to turn off his phone in the Senate when he put on a nice suit and went in there for a Kobo sweat. He does not even understand what is a parliamentary debate, how to make a budget, what is a cabinet note, when it is to be confirmed, what is procurement, what is tender rules, what is a Ministry of Finance, what is a vote. He don't know nothing. But Rowley picky because he's a balance. When the licks he go get August 10th, they go balance all over his body. And I don't like to deal with non-entities, you know. But when you start to lie like your leader, I have to deal with you, JW. JW, I hear you going around all over Barataria Sawa telling people that you from here. Really, JW? You go in and say, but you live here. You cut your hair here. You buy your bare hair. You fight your girl here. You kiss your girl there. All of that here. All of that, JW. Well, look how the Douglas and mash you up like chili, baby. You done a little bit already. Like your girl don't feed you. The breeze go blow you away. And you come here to talk stupidness and lie like Rowley. You from Barataria Sawa? Okay. Well, I hold in my hand the official list, revised list of electors from the last local government election, which was, everybody knows, December 2nd, 2019, just a few months ago. And this is the list of electors, the revised list. But here where this list is from. This list is for the polling division 0295 in the constituency of Port of Spain South. This is the revised list of electors for Woodbrook. Let me flip through this and see if I find any interesting names in here. Just about 9 months ago, Woodbrook, because the last time I checked, Woodbrook is not Barataria Sawa. No, and this Woodbrook is not Barataria Sawa. Woodbrook is quite down by me. Where right by NCB Global Finance Day, where Stuart Young brother just money blow by he just by luck. Just by luck. Oh Lord, it's just luck. Well, let me look on this list here. Let me see, boy. Tangwell, Ward, Williams. Where JW and your name is Williams, JW. One song, Milli Vanilli. One road match. Number 0284. Williams, Jason, Anton, Mark. 59 Western Main Road. That is not Barataria. Why you lying, boy? You now come down here. You now moving here. Why you lying to the people for? Why you lying to the people for? All of a sudden now, look now, Barataria Sawa, the new list, right? Let me see the name on it now. Because you're cutting your hair here, you're liming here, you learn to swim here, you eat food here, you eat doubles here, and you lie right here, just like your leader. Why you must lie, boy, JW? That's why you get the licks like fire, boy. Oh God, look what happened. This is the revised list of electors for the electoral district of Barataria San Juan, polling division number 1105. The 30th day of July 2020. AA, elector number 0612, Williams, Jason, Anton, Mark. Well, I'm Mark you as a liar, boy, JW. That's why you go get licks. You going around sending out message all over the place. You feel we don't check it? We check it as much as the song you tried to sing last year. You play your own song on the radio and you and all didn't like it, you didn't play it a second time. But you come in here to tell people to vote for you when we have an attorney, a man of the people, a man of the, who's on foundation to serve people, with the people, for the people, and he bribe too. You don't even know you on radio. The one thing we know about radio and TV is switch off your phone, turn it off. The one thing you supposed to have experience in, you going in the Senate and your phone ring. Yes, see your notice, boy? Come out of here. Barataria San Juan, go on yellow. Barataria San Juan, go on Saddam. Barataria San Juan, go all the way. And let me just say at this juncture, Guardian Media Limited, parent company Ansa McCall, who averaged 1.6044 billion pre-tax profit under Rowley, the only company to make profit, everybody else suffer. If all you come in with a HHB poll, Louis Bertram, without no date, polling 200 people in Sawa to say Palance ahead of Saddam, are taking the paper and are going to roll it up. I'm going to roll it up, twist it up, and look for a poster, JW, and be the poster. You understand what I'm telling you? Because only playing games, Guardian Media Limited. But I know where you're coming, but don't make thing. Because by the time I done dissecting clinically, surgically, scientifically, the fraud that you all like to perpetrate on the population, your sales will go down from 17,000 down to 0. So all you go ahead because you are not doing your job. And I know where you're coming with. It's an old trick. You pump some polls to give an impression that the worst prime minister in the history of the Caribbean with a Palance man in Barataria and Nowerian in Toko who don't even know. He won't even share his grandfather and grandmother thing with the family, but he want to take care of other people. A man who take from his family, go share with other strangers, all you in Toko, San Grande, vote Nabila Green, come straight down the road. So we moving on. Now let me tell you all something. A sweating in Sawa is all right. I not from here. I from Dago. Me and you, JW, both are we. Both are we from down so. Yeah. Anyway, Understand this now. I could not edit this video that I'm going to play for you all now. I tried to edit it, but I could not. I had to leave it for 6 minutes and 57 seconds because it is one of the best speeches I have heard in years. And this is for you, Dr. Keith Christopher Oreo Rowley, who went and tell the people at Laventille that there is a new dispensation. After 58 years of unfettered P&M rule and separation in Laventille, where the unemployment rate is the highest, they are the worst roads, no water, children still going down the road by standpipe with bucket in a P&M stronghold. That is wickedness from the P&M, but it's okay. Kamla Prasad Bisesa found some young black, and black is not a color. Black is a consciousness, black is a mind, black is intelligence, black is an understanding of the plight of African people across the globe. So when I listen to you, Rowley, you have no clue what it is to be black African conscious. So there are two leaders going up for election to be Prime Minister on August 10th. And if you are black conscious, if you are Afro-Trinbagonian and proud, you have to vote Kamla, because Kamla is the blacker one out of the two, illustrated by her heart, her soul, her policies of inclusion for everybody, helping single mothers and those most in need. And Saddam Hussein in Barataria San Juan is of that same heart. Now I am going to play, and I am going to relax, and I want everybody in Barataria San Juan, share the live. I want everybody across the country to listen to this speech, because I believe in people who can talk and you feel what they say, and that's where change comes from. In Laventille, you have an MP, Fitzgerald Pomsite Rasta Hines, who tell you all, he'll watch you all in your face and tell you the young black men of Laventille don't want nothing good. They're lazy and worthless. They don't want to sweat, but they want to go to heaven, but they don't want to work. That is Mr. Alliance. And then he assumed that all 10,000 now they're going and vote for him to win. He's telling you he don't respect you. He don't respect black people. He find out it's a waste of time and only lazy. That's Fitzgerald Hines. A clown who has done nothing for people in Laventille, but put on a red jersey and dance around with two security with gun in the waist. He can't walk in your own constituency. But understand clearly now. Listen to this gentleman who's asking for your vote, who's asking Laventille to give him a chance to serve you. Listen to Mr. Karim Baird, the candidate for Laventille East Mova. And when Anil tell you that a man could talk and he touched my heart, you know that man had to be bright, had to be passionate, and had to know what he's talking about. So you wait, Laventille, wait a Pomsite Rasta who telling you black people all they're lazy and all they're not bright like he, but he does get Kobo sweat. He Rowley fire he every 2 minutes. He drop water from 72% down to 22%. He can't do nothing. But he have the audacity to tell other young people that they're lazy and they don't want to sweat. Well, answer me this. How Angus Young sweat to get 3.62 billion in work? How Al-Rawi sweat to get 61 million and recuse himself 37 times from a cabinet meeting? How Stuart Young recused himself 57 times from cabinet meeting? How he sweat? And how Richard Young sweat at Sajiko to get Clico portfolio for 300 million less than Maritime? How them sweat? But black people must sweat when you want them do Fitzgerald Pomsite. He's not even a Rasta. It's shame to say Rasta boy Pomsite. Listen to a real young man and decide who you're going to vote for. Play that channel and listen.
Are you ready to make that change? Now is the time where you have to account for your community. It's either we continue 10 days for 5 years or 5 years for 5 years. Never dirty, are you tired of being hungry? Are you tired of no water, bad roads? Are you just tired? Being fed up is one thing. Being fed up is one thing. Being frustrated is one thing. Being broken is one thing. But when you are fed up, tired, and broken, that's the bad thing. I'm not saying to you that we're going to have all rainbows and perfect days, but allow me to make life better in your area. Allow me to fix some things in your area. Allow me to not just promise you today and you can't see me for the next 5 years. Allow me to represent you. Allow me, because I understand what it is to not have water, what it is to be broken, what it is to understand we don't know where the next bread coming from. Never dirty, I walk here for local government in December. I lost my seat to a P&M man. And I come back now in July and see in the same area looking worse. So being fed up and telling me you fed up is one thing. But showing me you fed up is another thing. It's all well and good to jump with me now, saying you're fed up. And then on election day vote back the very same thing you say you fed up of. Then how fed up are you? Are you just fed up because it's okay to say you're fed up? Tonight I ask you elders who are custom voting one way, allow the youth man from another party to develop his generation and fight for the youths just like he. Elders, I ask you not to conform to the same thing, but change your precept, change your understanding, and realize that the time is now where your community needs upgradement, not just talk. We have problems. We have road to fix here. It will work for the next 40 years. How much of that work you going and get if you don't vote? Being fed up and not voting is another issue. Then you are no longer part of the solution, but you are part of the problem. Youth says 12,000 and you don't vote. Now is your time to send a message. Because I hear the cries for work, I hear the cries for infrastructure, I hear the cries at everything. And if you continue to cry and do nothing about it, then don't cry. But if you are fed up enough on election day, I want you to do one thing for me. Conform to a brighter and a better tomorrow. Not for you, but for your generation to come. Now is the time. Don't just vote race. Because you will claim to say somebody have your interest. But how much of that interest for the past 58 years was on you? I seen people still toting water in 2020. Ask yourself, Anybody in Westmoreland toting water? But they go tell we have to buy tank, and they go give we free tank, because here what? 1 day of water is good enough for you. But somebody else will use the water to pay the dog, wash the car, and you here fighting for water and struggling. Are you tired? I asking you the tough questions that you wanna ask me. If I vote for you, Kareem, you gonna do like all the rest? Who is all the rest? All the rest that you continue to vote for? Now is your time to use your one instrument that God bless you with on election day. Show them, because this is the heartbeat of the PNM and it's the worst looking. So then, how much of a heart you really have? How much of a heart you really have? If you comfortable when you look in your area, you see no sort of improvement, no sort of growth, no sort of development. In order for you to get money in the bank, you had to go, take a car, go in the junction. Why can't we not have an ATM after 58 years and living in Levantel is over? Why we can't have development just like any other part of our great nation? Youths are asked you to put on the gun. Live in harmony. Live in togetherness. I can't do this without you. You can't do it without me. But together we could do this only if we try. It's okay to wonder and worry about moving forward. But if you continue to stay in the same spot, you will not.
What can I say? Oh yeah. You know what that shows? And yes, he's going against Adrian Leons. Adrian Leons, a man who won a seat, and Rowley so disrespected him and disrespect Lavanti East Mova, that he didn't even get a Kobo sweat as a minister. Nothing to help his people. So voting for him is useless, because for 5 years he could not even get Rowley to tell him good morning. He could not even get Rowley to say, sir, can I get a Kobo sweat as a minister? Or you could call me honorable. So poor Adrian Leons wasting time. And Lavanti is one area, so Lavanti East move over into Lavanti West. Understand and listen to that. That is an intelligent young black man asking you respectfully to vote for him. And then you have an old Pomsite Rasta telling you that you are no good. You are not worth his time. You are useless. While he goes to his palace in Maraval and Galavans and goes to try and knock glass with Rowley in Goodwood Park with Andrew Gabriel and the rest of them clowns and leave you in pain. But he knows, just put on a red jersey and black people in Lavanti will run in droves and just go dip, 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 dip. Kareem Baird is asking you to change the paradigm, to change and show them that arrogance is not acceptable. It also shows that a leader with heart and care, a leader who loves children, who loves single mothers, who loves those who are most in need, who believes in education, sport and culture, who starts her policies from the bottom coming up, chooses people of like heart, of like consciousness. And that's what you see in Kareem Baird. That's what you hear. That's the goosebumps you got. So share the live, because soon we'll be interviewing another one of Kamala's warriors. Another man with heart and soul and passion that you see oozing out of him. Saddam Hussein loves his people and will fight for his people. A leader selects people in her own image. Rowley select small pin. Rowley select the Dwayne who tweets. Rowley select the convent girl who getting a catastrophe up in St. Joseph. Rowley selects Champa who attack all Tobagonians who go on PDP. Rowley selects Rohan Sinanan. Anything he build as end up by he. Rowley selects Franklin Khan. All he do is rent his wife building down in Faisabad. Rowley selects Winfred Espinay. All. Don't tell me nothing. Who's all here? All gone and don't call me 10 o'clock. A leader selects people who is like them. August 10th, the choice is clear. You either vote for arrogance, superiority, feelings of superiority, starritis, discourtesy, or you vote for people like Kareem Baird, Saddam Hussein, Nabila Green, David Naked, Aloy Hunt, come down the line, Michelle Benjamin in Maruga, or you vote for Gypsy who tell me, analyze no PNM, Gypsy boy for you. Your ship not sinking, it done sunk. To my beautiful champagne yellow, you look good in yellow, girl, but we really don't want you. I mean, well, but thanks for the endorsement. But Champa, you paint up a stadium. You're talking to Anil now. I don't like to do this because I don't take advantage. I know you didn't want to be a minister of sport. You know nothing about sport. You tell me about you just jog. All right, so I cannot go too rough on you. But Champa, you paint up and power wash a stadium. When I was the minister under Kamala Prasad Bisesa, we got a structural engineering report. And the Dwight York Stadium, underneath all that paint you paint, is structurally unsound. The sea blast has worn out all of the steel structure, the bunting, everything needs to be done, redone. Anil the Dogra had gotten approved 120 to 145 million to redo the stadium for Tobagonians. All the electricals were eaten out by the salt. All the plumbing needs to be redone. You just paint it up, put up 3 signs, and you open it in a yellow dress. The only good thing was the yellow dress. So stop mamagaing Tobagonians. Tobagonians are bright enough. And as we talking mamagazam of Tobagonians, the PNM, let me tell you all something. The PNM went and put up posters in Tobago with the UNC and the PDP. Let me tell you something. Think about that for a moment. Kamala Prasad Bisesa respects Tobago more than anything. She understands that there is no need to get involved in Tobago affairs, that Tobago must choose their strong leadership, and she will discuss and treat Tobago with respect, listen to what Tobago wants. When she was Prime Minister, she let Orville London speak after her. When she was Prime Minister, all her ministers had to consult with the THA before we did any recreation grounds, before we built a gas station, before we built MIC centers like David Lee. Rowley comes and lets Small Pin run all roughshod all over Tobago, giving Sandals land, anything he wants, and not talking to Kelvin Charles. Rowley puts the Chief Secretary down on the ground and puts Rohan and Small Pin up on the podium. Kamala is not of that. So Kamala Prasad Bisesa and the UNC will not get involved in Tobago's politics one iota. The only UNC who does talk a little bit about Tobago is me, because my father is a Tobagonian, my grandfather is a Tobagonian, my grandmother is a Tobagonian, and I is a half Tobagonian. So fire burn Rowley and the PNM. So Kamala Prasad Bisesa, nor any UNC, did not first of all think up the idea of putting a poster with PNM and PDP and UNC on it. That is the PNM dotage strategy. That is the lies of Rowley, who said that Watson Duke is an agent of the UNC. Watson Duke could be the agent of anybody. Watson Duke is Watson Duke, a proud black Tobagonian man. Nobody is nobody, agent of nobody. So this kind of dirty politics, now to those who understand, what kind of clown, what kind of idiot would think that this is a funny joke to play? These people are in charge of your money without procurement legislation. These people are buying Galleon's passage. These people send home Galicia and bring Le Valette for 20,000 more euros per day, but call other people thief. These people are procuring vessels with Smallpin and Rowley by themselves, without a board, without a tender committee. These are the people. Think about the warped mind that would concoct such a lie, such a disgusting strategy to mama guy people. Think about it. Think about the sick individual who will try to win an election by concocting a poster, designing it, taking Kamla Prasad Bisasa picture and the UNC logo, taking Watson Duke logo and putting it together and then going all around Tobago and post it up. Only a dastardly, thieving, corrupt mind would think about something like that. Desperate. Only an evil mind can think about that. So do not get tied up. Anybody who would do that, you trust them with your money and them calling people thief? Look, BPTT now goes against Rowley. In the last 3 months, we saw Heritage Petroleum, which is under the PNM, and Rowley lawyer Kwamena, who he sent to see about Daryl Smith. Rowley boy, how you going, boy? Tell Daryl Smith wife hello for me. I commented that just now. Then we saw Digicel Foundation giving out laptops to special needs children. BPTT is now giving out tablets to primary school children. Heritage gave out laptops to children. BPTT also gave out laptops 2 months ago to older children. Kamla was giving laptops since 2010. Rowley came and cut it and now talking about a digital economy and a digital. Rowley, you cannot even spell digital. As we move into that now, I see that Ansel lean to the left, Roger. Right? I see you talking now. How Rowley and them, well, not Rowley. You can't blame Rowley. So the committee set up by Rowley that is not taking instructions from Rowley. And Roger, you are the most amazing human being on God's green earth. I wonder if you think that people really take you seriously. You are a labor union leader. You had the honor and privilege to lead the most powerful union in the history of the Caribbean. Rowley and the little Dwayne that do it, fire all your workers, bust everybody throat under your watch, and you have the audacity to call a press conference? You should duck your head in the labors and hide it for life. Your one work was to keep people work, and everybody lost their work except you. And you come in to talk, and now you want us to cry for you that they are hoodwinking you? Dum-dum? Huh? You attack Kamla. When Kamla and Kevin Ramnarine was there, all your people had work. Rowley come and bust everybody throat, but you vex with Kamla. You have a problem with woman too? Huh? What's wrong with y'all, man? What's going on? But let's listen to Roger, because ladies and gentlemen, the entire mass media does not care that Delcy Rodriguez landed here. They don't care that Wilmer Rupetti, who is a Maduro Chavista, who will break sanctions all his life since 2003, that he moved gas from Augustus, Italy on February 27th to bring it to Trinidad. They changed the paperwork. They offload gas at Pointe-à-Pitre. A ship left Venezuela, Aldan, sailed into Pointe-à-Pitre. We load up the ship, sell it back to a different Wilmer Rupetti company. They turn off the transponder, but evidence showed that it went into El Palito in Venezuela and offloaded. But the media didn't care about that. Paria said the money paid on the 15th, but the invoice was on the 27th. How you could pay an invoice that don't exist? That like Rowley emails that didn't exist, but then he said it exists and they have to investigate the content. But the media didn't care. But then the Douglas come and tell you, but look at your refinery now. Because if it was one shipment of gasoline, 148,907 barrels, Yankee go say, well, all right. All you try to skull we go deal with Newman George, Rowley, and Smallpin. We go take the visa, take the credit card, and think no US. Okay, they would have deal with them. But a refinery generating $2 to $3 billion of US revenue per year. If there's a Venezuela connection to that, that is a sustained, continuous attempt to evade sanctions, and each and every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago will be sanctioned. See how serious it gets? August 10th is a very serious election. Because the Douglas told you all 9 weeks ago that, let me wipe my forehead for this with my yellow towel, eh? Don't make joke. The Douglas told you that this patriotic energy sale of the refinery selected by Coleman Butt and Rowley, they gave them 10 conditions that patriotic had to meet. And condition number 7 was they must sign an MOU with Trafigura PTE. Trafigura PTE is a Wilmer Rumpetti company from Venezuela. 13 years he was at the head of that company. Trafigura PTE is linked to money with PDVSA, the petroleum company of Venezuela. Trafigura PTE is linked to Delcy and Maduro and Venezuela. Trafigura PTE attempted to create an sanction evading system with Venezuela with 700 million US. Where have you all heard that term, that figure, exact figure 700 million US before? With patriotic bid was 700 million US, which Coleman but then said, nah man, Trini don't want no money. We have enough money. So all you keep the 700 million and all you could pay it off sometime later. That was the Dwayne who tweets. And y'all are not now. I was asking all the time, media, please ask Roger, please ask Rowley, please ask Imbati Dwayne that tweets. Please ask them, what is condition number 7 and has it been manifested? Has it been signed off? Has an MOU been signed with Venezuela through Trafigura PTE? Well, now we hear the answer. Archie, play Roger, who does lean to the left. Go on, play him.
It is that we are involved in a process to close this acquisition process. We would have committed tens of millions of dollars. We would have engaged professionals and a technical team second to none, international consortium, winning the bid, which we did against some 76 other competitors, an international bidding contest, that we would have won all of that, that the Minister of Finance in September of last year announced in the Parliament that Patriotic would have won the bid and that he would have given some 10 points to satisfy. And the Patriotic, the company owned by the union, would have subsequently, before the expiration of the time, the 1 month, delivered on that 10 points. And all we needed to do is to work out some technical details and then close this process. It should not have taken us so long. But if it is that this process, which the union won on the basis of merit, is taking long and it just don't seem to be able to close, how on earth, the question must be asked, that credibility can be attached to a statement that land will come sometime in the future. In other words, those with whom we meet and with whom we interact around the table as we discuss the acquisition process, they are totally oblivious and disconnected to the Prime Minister's statement. Because on that day, the Prime Minister also said, that's July the 15th, the Prime Minister also made the statement, and I can just paraphrase, that in a matter of days, this process will have closed and the union will be signing on to an agreement. And that the union is urged to sign that agreement, or words to that effect. But the salient point I wish to make in this is that in a matter of days. That's what he said. So we were happy to hear that. But that as we met on the 14th of July, we recognized there were a number of outstanding issues which we raised and which we put back to their team. And that team and us, we work assiduously on those issues, reducing those issues to some 6 outstanding issues. 6 outstanding issues at the last meeting, at the meeting of the 17th of July. And when we met here in the press briefing, press update, on the Thursday, the 23rd of July, you would recall me saying to you that we had a meeting that was scheduled to start at 11 o'clock in Port of Spain. And at that meeting, we urged those with whom we are interacting to extend the hand of cooperation in the country's interests. And that we just had some issues, some 6 outstanding issues that they are about to close. And it's expected that we would do just that, we would resolve those issues. I want to report to you this morning as I navigate through then to now, that we would have had on that day, starting around just after 11 that morning, it's Thursday, July 22, a marathon session lasting some 11 hours. And at that point, at close of that meeting, we would have, and so we thought, we would have resolved all of those issues, barring none. In other words, when we left the meeting on the 23rd, all of the issues that separated Patriotic and that technical team they were resolved.
Now, I'm sorry for playing so long and making you listen to Roger that clown. However, it is very important. The reason being, on August 10th, your relationship with the United States of America, Canada, and the United Kingdom and Europe will be on the ballot. Did you all hear that man say that all 10 conditions have been met? Which means that condition number 7, that the Patriotic Company must sign an MOU to do business with Trafigura PTE, which is sustained multi-million-dollar US business with Venezuela, with Maduro, with Delcy, on indictments in the USA, 15 million US bounty on a man's head. That man just confirmed that Rowley's government has in its possession the 10 conditions that they wanted, and therefore the link between Maduro and Rowley is there. Yes. Now I am telling you all that if you all make the mistake and leave that there, you who like to get visa to go Disney World or to go shopping in Florida and go to the beach and go to water park, and you who like to get barrels coming down from the USA, and you in 11T who want to go and see that clown, that Rasta man who talk about the Indian lady, you won't be able to go, man. You who have US credit cards, no more US credit cards, no more US money. You businessmen who buy your products from the USA, no more products from the USA. All of us who eat 72% of our food from the USA, no more food from the USA. I've done the kicks now because very serious. That man has just said that. So on August 10th, you have to vote for no sanctions. Vote for the relationship between Trinidad and Tobago to be renewed and strengthened with its #1 trading partner, the United States of America. Do not vote for nonsense. Do not vote for Maduro. Do not vote for narco-terrorists. Do not vote for corruption. Do not vote for money launderers. Do not vote for Rowley and that. And listen to Rowley now. Play Rowley, Archie. Listen to this clown.
The government is not closing down Petrotrin.
And I know that you will accept that from a prime minister who always tells you the truth.
There's been very clear that all the employees of of Petrotrin will exit the company. All.
The population has become accustomed to persons lying to them, not the least of which prime ministers.
Yes. So welcome back. So understand, this gentleman is a stranger to the truth. Think about it. If he was your child, if he was your teenager, if he was your son, the amount of go over whip and bull pistol you would have land on him. You only wouldn't have make joke. All you would have a cup of horse feet to dip the bull pistol to make sure it sting him. No, seriously, the man is a complete stranger to the truth. Everything out his mouth. Oh, the UNC giving cotton note. The only thing we have in cotton is with jersey, which everybody wants. We need more jersey because the whole country wants jersey in yellow jersey. I am in Barataria, San Juan. And let me tell you something. Barataria, San Juan is not a joke. It's a very serious constituency. In fact, I would suggest it's one of the constituencies out of all 41 where people take their politics very seriously. They listen. They want to know policy. They want to grill the candidate. They want to ask questions. Barataria San Juan is not a party election. It's not a Raman Roti election constituency. It is people who read. So the mere fact that Rowley now present his manifesto, Barataria San Juan done gone Saddam Hussein. The mere fact that Rowley put somebody who we could count your levels on my one hand if I cut off two fingers, Saddam Hussein gone with Barataria San Juan. The mere fact that Kamala put a seriously religious and spiritual lawyer in Barataria San Juan to show the respect to the constituency, that she understands the constituency, she put Saddam Hussein. Now look what Rowley does. Look what Rowley does to the Muslims of Trinidad and Tobago. After disrespecting them throughout his 10 years prime minister, trying to convince the world that Muslims are terrible and Trinidad and searching people's place and disrespecting people and breaching their rights. He didn't stop there. He put Faris al-Rawi a la tight bands, a la clown, a la 61 million, a la idiot 30 lost cases to attack Nafisa Mohammed as Muslim sister of impeccable integrity, impeccable class, and a lady who's in the PNM for ages. And Rowley, rather than berate Faris al-Rawi a la rental, a la tight pants, who running down all kind of young Muslim girl down in South, rather than blowing him out and telling him, boy, catch yourself. Nafisa is a respected member of the PNM, and if she make a decision to move, she move. Rather than telling Rawi to shut up, boy, you're making we done lost Barataria San Juan. You want them going in a wave across the whole country now? You know what Rowley does? Do you all believe what Rowley does? Rowley doubles down and attack Nafisa Mohammed in the most vile. Play the thing. Play the audio. Only listen to the crown.
You see, it's getting late, so I won't keep you very long tonight, because we are on the verge of you deciding whether the PNM is sane and sober government that we have been bringing you. You will decide if on the 11th of August you want a government in office that may very well be dealing with a wave of COVID activity that we have not seen, that we are not exempt from, that we are not invincible here in this country, and that we are not in a position to say it can't happen to us. And if you want on the 11th of August to have a prime minister from a party that does this, you see this? This is called UNC USA supporters. You see two flags there? American flags. These are people who are literally domiciled in America. They live in America, but they are Trinidad and Tobago connections with a passport probably. They have a certain group of people, if I call their names, including one of whom is running against me, Indigo Martin West there, a little, what do you call it? And one who wanted to stay in the Prime Minister office as senior legal advisor to the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, who is chairman of the National Security Council. Wanted that job because she couldn't feed her family, but wanted to stay in that office and become legal advisor to people who the police were after.
Did you all hear what that man said about Nafisa Muhammad? Respected Muslim woman cannot feed her family. A respected lady who has operated with class in this country, and even though she's a PNM, the Douglas respect she, hands down, was my mother good friend. Rowley, a scumbucket, where Darrell Smith wife, boy, you talking about woman talk? But Nafisa Muhammad wanted, I don't know what she went and worked for you for, boy. And you so disrespectful about she wanted to be a senior attorney. She is 20 times brighter than you could ever be, boy. You're complete dunce, boy. You so dunce. You feel the newspapers printing you in a mosque mean Muslim go love you. You're clown. Muslims are people who think, they pray, they are thoughtful, they are conscious. You cannot confuse them with stupid PR stunts. But Judy Raymond print a picture of you doing so. Why she didn't print a picture of you doing so by Darrell Smith's wife? Why she didn't print that? Because she might be jealous herself, Judy Raymond. She might want to fight Darrell Smith's wife and all. Village Ram, and you attacking woman. And then you see ladies, you heard how he referred to Marsha Walker, a young mother out who is competing against, he says something, so I can't repeat the disgusting disrespect. Every single woman, whether a member of the PNM or not, whether independent, all UNC women, all independent women, all women of Trinidad and Tobago must vote this clown out of office, this disrespectful misogynist. Nafisa Muhammad, look, play the imam go say it better than me. Let me tell you something, Rowley. You boy, you don't even understand. No amount of Andrew Gabriel paid for poll, printing a set of rubbish, go save all your boy. Nothing go save all your. Come on, go stand boy. Play the imam.
So if today we want to talk about Ibrahim alayhi salam and Ismail alayhi salam and Hajara alayhi salam, but we are silent. We are silent in the face of the disgrace that has been heaped upon or attempted to be heaped upon our sister Nafisa Muhammad by an Attorney General, the worst that we have seen in this country, the one who passed draconian laws, the Marriage Act that took away from Muslim parents the right of having a say in their child's marriage after 18 years old. The one who constantly called Muslims terrorists. The one who passed draconian legislation when he amended the Terrorism Act. The one who gave instruction to invade Muslim homes in this country and masajids. And we are silent. because she's a woman, we'll be hypocritical to celebrate Eid al-Adha in 2020 in Trinidad and Tobago if we do not raise our voices as Muslim men in defense of a Muslim woman, one who displays Muslim womanhood, and deafening silence. This religion is not to come and to hear a nice story and to feel good. Oh, Ibrahim was so nice. Oh, Allah was so loving. He saved the child. Oh, and we go home and it has not impacted on our lives. We need to stand up in this country. We need Mohammedan courage. We need Abrahamic courage to stand up against the wrong in this society. You are shuhada. I have said this for many decades now. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran that the Muslims are shuhada ala nas, that we are witnesses over mankind.
I am woman. Hear me roar. Soon my voice will not be ignored. For too long we sat and take disrespect from someone we expect to know better, not just as a man, but as a prime minister. I am more than what you call a hyena in an African jungle, and that was no fumble, because I know you mean what you say, because every day is more and more ridiculous grumble. When you say you're like a golf course and needs to be groomed every day, you really think that was okay? To disrespect and humiliate women in the worst way? No wonder you led this country astray. With your broken promises and priorities in a mess, you leave a whole country in stress. And then want to talk about geometry? You don't even know how that vexed all our we. Maybe 5 years ago, we should have chosen the prime minister wisely. This time we are wiser and have a true desire to be respected as women and be part of a solution, not led by a man who is the problem. So, Dr. Rowley, this time we don't want a bully, leader who will respect us as women and listen to us too. And that leader is certainly not you.
On August 10th, vote UNC.
What can I say? The young lady said it better than I could possibly say it. I have 2 daughters. And Rowley, if any one of my daughters bring home a man like you, I going up straight in Golden Grove without a case. I go in and sit down. I go in and sit down in Golden Grove. If one of my daughters bring home somebody like you, I live my life, I'm happy. I go in and sit down in Golden Grove until I dead. Because you are a total scumbucket disgrace, boy. And you can't help it. It's natural. You're talking to people. You're making a speech as a prime minister, and that's how you refer to Marsha Walker. She come to shake your hand. You're disrespectful. Every time you talk up to Kamala and something, you're disrespectful over and over. No, your mic off. All right, turn up there. The people out there want to hear. Right. Hey, make some noise. Saddam Hussein. Barataria Sawan. You see? When the Douglas try to talk soft, all kind of bacchanalas go on. I try to talk soft, Only I'll keep, watch that gentleman there, please, thank you. Yes. Now, Keith Rowley, just to show you always Keith Rowley, let me ask Keith Rowley some questions. Or in fact, first, let me put some pictures up. Because Keith Rowley, Stuart Smallpin Young, said that UNC dealing in human trafficking and so on. Human trafficking. First you say UNC MPs paying people to randomly and sporadically shoot and kill citizens. Then he say UNC paying people to riot because the black people in Laventine not intelligent enough to know that things were bad, that the injustice occurred with the police. They don't know about that. Now Stuart Smallpin Young saying that he have intelligence. Well, that's an oxymoron in itself. That he have intelligence that we in the UNC in human trafficking. All right. Well, put up a picture there for me, please. Put up the picture. We in human trafficking. Well, let's see. Who is that? Faris Al-Rawi Al-Rental is playing and shaking the hand of the owner of Copacabana. Look at that. They're hugging and loving up. Copacabana is B&M. Copacabana is red. Copacabana is Balize. And then look to the next side. There is Keith Christopher Rowley sitting down on a sort of an ugly couch, shaking the hand of Budit, the owner of Copa. Pictures of that we can see. Oh my goodness. Wow, look how comfy. Keith Rowley's nearly even rubbing his leg. What's going on there, Keith? You're very comfy with Budit, the owner of Copacabana. Yes, Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi Al-Rental. Copacabana, boy. Archie, put up the police report about Copacabana recently. You have that picture? These are the people. All you ever see Kamala take a picture of anybody like that? No. Kamala does take picture with Imam, with Pundit, with priests, with female Anglican bishops, with archbishops, with children, with mothers, with sports stars, with soca artists, calypso, chutney, dance. That's who Kamala takes pictures with, because she's in government to help them out. These two clowns taking picture with Copacabana owner. You heard the thing? All I don't want about, all you know where is Copacabana, but they're talking about UNC. Right. But now, let's go to the Morning Brew video. And y'all, I know I'm not telling y'all to go and watch no PNM Morning Brew now, because I am going to say that the young lady who is a PNM, Jamaican PNM, she did a little good interview here. But 2 minutes of good work does not remove 10 years of PNM Balize juice out of your system. So run the Morning Brew clip with small pin, that clown, that dishonest clown. Run it.
Right now, we have been speaking with the Minister of National Security and the Member of Parliament for Port of Spain North of St. Anne's West, Stuart Young. And right before we went to that break, he told us that members of the opposition are profiting from human trafficking. Minister, is there an obsession with the opposition? We're always hearing these allegations of what the opposition is involved in, but somehow those allegations don't ever seem to turn to evidence where people are convicted, people are charged for what you are proposing they're doing. Why is that?
First of all, there are suggestions and allegations because of allegations of exactly that, being involved in human trafficking. That is what I was referring to. I agree with you. Very often there are, and as a minister, and I'm saying this aside to that last conversation we just had, you receive as Minister of National Security reports, you receive intelligence reports. I think we now understand how intelligence has to be converted to evidence. Evidence then has to be cross a certain threshold for charges to be made. Natalie, I never say anything, and I say this without fear of contradiction. I have never stated anything in public office, and especially in portfolio of Minister of National Security, that I don't have things to back it up on that were provided to me by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service or intelligence services. So I put that on the record very, very clearly.
But again,
and yes, the wheels of justice take too long.
If you have things to back it up, why is it that those things aren't turning into evidence?
That's a good question.
Population, the People's National Movement on the platform is accusing the opposition United National Congress of these things, and we can see action happening. Where is the disconnect?
Agreed.
You know, if it wasn't so serious, I would really laugh heartily. That is what they want you to vote for. You may not have known before in 2015, but now you know. Now you know. That clown there just said he have intelligence. Well, that is enough to make me laugh. Secondly, when he said that UNC MPs are paying criminals in PNM stronghold, criminals money to randomly and sporadically kill innocent citizens to make him look bad. We don't have to try to make him look bad. He makes himself look bad every morning when he wake up. All he had to do is wake up and he look dotish and bad. Then he come down to say, we UNC in human trafficking. What madness are you talking about? It's your Attorney General who was rhyming with Budit and your Prime Minister who was rubbing Budit leg. Not camera. And let me ask Keith Christopher Rowley something, since all you want to talk thing now. Keith Rowley, August 2014, were you in Miami? Did you have occasion to visit a club while in Miami in August 2014? In this club were there ladies who like to take off their clothes that we describe as strippers? Keith Rowley, did you enjoy the dancing skills of a certain stripper in this club? She was about 5'5", 135 pounds, and lovely chocolate dark skin. Was that so? I'm just asking you, August 2014. August, I'm just asking. I have all kind of clothes. Asking you, my brother. Talk. Well, let me talk now, man. Let me talk now. Go and check your passport. Go back and check and see if it was August 2014. Where it was? You didn't know the place had camera. So you keep lying. Go ahead. Go ahead, Rowley. Now, Keith Rowley says to you, the people, and please share the light. They're trying to stick with. Because while we up in Saddam Hussein constituency, the next member of parliament, we had 4.2 thousand live, and Rowley talking and 300 people listening. You understand? So they're trying to stick with. Is that right? But they can't stick with. They can't stick the yellow. Barataria Sawa gone. It's gone long time. We gone clear. Rowley say, vote for me. Because I did so well in COVID. I was so brilliant in COVID. Y'all cannot believe how well we did in COVID. And that the UNC is trying to create hysteria by telling people to complain about being outside. And that Kamla Prasad Bisesa will open the borders. Kamla Prasad Bisesa? Kamla Prasad Bisesa will shut the borders tight and lock it down. And to listen, for your PNM people, the ones that are not so bright, she's not going to build a bubble. Okay? What that means, she's going to protect the citizens throughout. So if the airport and ports are closed, and that part of the border is closed, she will also close the entire coastline with the 360-degree radar. She will deploy the Coast Guard vessels at Rowley and them too cheap to put diesel in. She will fill them up with diesel and deploy them all around the coast. She will then gas up the helicopters that we have and put them in strategic points at the southwest coast so that when the Coast Guard call them, the helicopter can move in on top of any illegal immigrants with COVID and turn them straight back from whence they came. She will deploy the army down on the Ikakas to Fullerton border and shut down the 141 gaps that exist. She will fuel up the air guard and get the air guard going that has been shut down for 3 years. So Kamla Prasad Bisesa will shut down the borders and she will shut the CPL out and send back the 147 foreigners who are here right now. The borders are open now. They landed here already. Rowley and the border open. Nobody loves my abundant. Rowley has the border open. 102 foreigners from all over the world landed here yesterday and 47 more landed today. 149. And then he says they're in the Hilton and they won't impact Trinidad and Tobago. Really? So what they're eating? They have no cooks, no chefs there. They have no waiters and waitresses there. They have no bar staff there. They have no local cleaners to clean the rooms there. They have no pool boys to maintain the pool there that costs more than the pool that Rowley built in Lavanti and says they go Martin West. They have no security there at the hotel. They have no bellboys. They have no reception clerk and managers. Is that what you're saying? These people, look at them. They were just in St. Lucia. Rowley let them in quick, because they have on Speedos. Me and know you bringing in man with Speedos. That is what Rowley doing. And have the audacity to lie and say Kamala will open borders. Repatriating citizens is not open borders. The whole world has repatriated their citizens in a systematic protocols with mandatory quarantine, mandatory testing. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, as soon as she's sworn in, will instruct her Minister of Health to purchase 40,000 tests, and she will start to test left, right, center, everywhere to see what is really going on in COVID after she shuts down the border, to know where it is, how it is, and to sanitize it, get rid of it. Rowley wants to contact trace without testing. Who the hell you could trace without a test? The only person who reached is somewhere without a test is JW in the Senate. Never pass a test, but he go in the Senate. Look. We don't worry, we sending him back to do advertisement and things just now. He go back on Slam 100. We sending you back fast. Saddam sending you straight back. You get a Kobo sweat, you're done, boy. And just to let you all know how dishonest Rowley is. Remember Rowley attacked Kamala Prasad Bisesa. Where you get them? I'm going with the doctor. Where you get those 10,000 from? Is Kamala say 10,000 citizens are out there and so on? And he said, Kamala lie and done it. What? Let's hear the truth now. How many times must I prove to y'all that Keith Christopher Rowley is a pathological liar? Run it now. This video is an educated, experienced, calm, intelligent doctor of 30 in charge of Mount Hope Women's Hospital. Please play. I am not editing this woman. Only listen carefully because I'm sick of Rowley's lies. Listen carefully. Play it, Archie.
In an interview published in The Guardian on April 14th, I urged Trinidad and Tobago to unite in the fight against COVID-19. Being in Florida, I followed the handling of repatriation attentively. It was at the press conference on Monday, 13th of July, that the Prime Minister stated that there were approximately 10,000 nationals on the outside. Hearing this figure, I appreciated that our health system was extremely fragile and could not support an outbreak. This was from personal experience as Chief of Staff of Mount Hope Women's Hospital, when I would have to beg for an ICU bed for a critically ill patient by calling every hospital in the country, and eventually, when unsuccessful, would make the decision to use a ventilator in the operating theatre to keep the patient alive. As I assessed the data coming out of the various ministries, I realized something was amiss. The Ministry of Health's media release on 12th of July stated that 4,348 unique tests were performed. At the same July 13th conference, the public was informed that 4,515 citizens were granted exemption. These figures just did not add up. When I began interacting with other displaced nationals, it was evident that the number could not be as high as 10,000. It was heartbreaking to hear people's stories, living in shelters, having the dose of medications to stretch it out, failing to attend the funerals of loved ones, receiving an exemption but having to organize their own way back to the country and not having the financial means to do so. To add to this, the displaced nationals had to deal with the comments of an anxious public in Trinidad and Tobago who really believed that we were a threat to their well-being because they swallowed up. The whole situation had become so toxic. On Friday, 31st of July 2020, I waited anxiously for the media briefing, hoping that the approach would involve compromise and good sense. Despite not receiving further follow-up from the Ministry of National Security myself, I expected to hear that monies had been transferred to the embassies and consulates that had diligently compiled lists and would be involved in reaching out to displaced nationals in financial need. After all, that announcement about financial aid was made on July 14th. Repatriation flights were being arranged via our national airline, and in the case of the United Kingdom, direct flights were being sourced, and FDA-approved medicines would be couriered to nationals in the US whose supplies were low. If I could figure it out, well, certainly the government, with its vast resources and numerous advisors, would certainly be able to do so. No words can describe what followed next. Firstly, we were informed that the figure of 10,000 displaced nationals was derived by rounding off 8,000. Then, the 10,000 was obtained by adding the 5,000 individuals who applied to leave Trinidad and Tobago and 5,000 nationals needing to come in. Further, it was the opposition that was promoting the number 10,000 on the political platform. And finally, the actual number needing to come in was really 5,539, of which only 2,250 had received exemptions.
It is the total number of individuals who applied to enter Trinidad and Tobago as at July 29, 2020. That figure is 5,539. Total number of exemptions granted to enter, 2,250. Individuals who applied to enter and who are currently awaiting exemptions, 3,289. You would have heard the opposition leader accusing the government of making stateless and abandoning 10,000 people. Now you understand where the figure of 10,000 come from. It is not 10,000 people knocking on the door outside to come in that you have abandoned according to them. The figure of 10,000 has to do with the 5,000 who want to go out and the approximately 5,000 who want to come in. And from the 5,000...
I respect the office of the Prime Minister, but you, sir, you do not get to insult my intelligence. It was you who clearly stated at the press conference of the 13th of July that there were 10,000 on the outside.
There was a category of people which now seems to be approximating to about, I would say, 8,000 to 10,000 people who at the closure of the border would have been on the wrong side of the fence. They would have been outside. And the reason how we got to that figure is that when we closed the border, we said, make an application to the Ministry of National Security to be considered for an exemption. And I assume that persons who were in transit or who were normally domiciled in Trinidad and Tobago who were outside and wanted to come back home, in that period of the many weeks and months that we've been doing this, they would have applied to national security largely except in emergency situations, others will come onto the list. It appears now that with the numbers that we have serviced so far, and those who are on the applications list, plus or minus 1,000 or 2,000, it appears as though it's about 10,000 people.
The strategy was clear. While there were no documented cases of COVID-19 in Trinidad and Tobago, the bigger the number of displaced nationals waiting for repatriation, the more impressive the efforts to protect the country would appear. All I have is my reputation. That's my legacy. I stand by my original assessment. The nationals outside the country are no risk to the nationals inside the country. While you were so focused on using the displaced nationals, your own people, as pawns, you missed the real threat. That's nothing to brag about.
Rowley's Kamala say 10,000 buy, not you buy. Eh? Ladies and gentlemen, how many times do I have to show you all that for you all to just realize that man should not even be in a leadership role. That man should not be anywhere around other human beings. They should put he in a special rock near Carrera and leave he there by himself. Nah, Neil talking soft is alright. I'm trying to get dramatic here. Alright. Barataria Sawa, who we voting for? Saddam! Always share the life. But let me tell you something. Saddam Hussein coming up in 11 minutes. But look at this. Rowley trying to say Kamala go open border. I tell you, Kamala go lock it tight like government boots, right? Look at this. 3 players in the CPL, COVID-19. And so how many of them who here in the open border? How many of them are COVID that Rowley let in? 102 yesterday. Did they test all 102? No. Did they test the 47 today? No. And I don't know why people do this, you know. But when we come back, I am going to show you all that the untruths continue. All of us have a modicum of intelligence.
Vote for the candidate and a leader you can trust. Kamala Prasad Bisesa.
Election day when you stay in your hand, it's for the UNC and the rising sun.
What time it is? What time it is?
The United National Now is the time.
Now is the time. Now is the time. Now is the time. Your safety is on the ballot, not with lies and games and gimmicks, not with a policy of do not test so we do not know. We are going to test. Kamala is going to test. She's going to get... You all have seen on TV. You all have seen across the USA. Big car parks, mall car parks, drive-in cinemas, where people driving in, getting a test, and within 5 minutes getting their results. Where you could go in Trinidad to get that? But them is number one. So all of them back there, them ain't no good. Archie, line up. I want to hear DL sing. The 52-second one. You have that one? Skip it there. Yeah, I want all of you to listen because understand this. All right, my brother. Yes. DL sing say and Rowley say he's kept us safe. So vote for us. Kamala will do this and Kamala will inject you with disinfectant and all kind of stupidness. The man is right. And then Kamala say sunlight will kill the virus. Well, sunlight, the virus lives 8 hours in sunlight. But in the cold and in the air condition, it lives for 3 days. So if something lives shorter in the sunlight, doesn't it have less time to infect others? Oh Lord, if you all can't read or understand, just come out the people cabinet, come out the people parliament, come out the people government, come out the people treasury, come out the people country, and just go now, man. Go and play golf and give me a chance now, man. So them telling you, while Venezuela, COVID exploded, you don't even know the numbers. Venezuela coming in, left, right, inside, outside, coming, no test, fish, coming without fish, coming with thing in fish, coming down in carcass, the Fullerton, coming all over the place. And they're telling you vote for them because they are so brilliant. And they are #1 in the world. Well, listen to the Alsing. Play the Alsing that the 52.
The virus can cause mainly mild disease.
This is worse than World War I, World War II, and 9/11 put together. And then each copy goes into another cell in your body, switches on the photocopy machine, and switch on and just prints copies. Wearing a mask by the average Trinidadian and Tobagonian is of absolutely no use. As you can see, we are leading by example from this morning in wearing masks. You could take an old t-shirt, you can make a mask. You could do like me, take an old t-shirt, rip it, and you have a face mask. There is no specific treatment, there is no cure, there is no vaccine for COVID-19. One of the drugs that we have to use, and you will know, is a drug called human globulin immune. You know, each patient that we have to put on that costs between $100,000 to $200,000 per patient. The best place for them to be if you don't have the disease is in China. The best place for them to be is in China. The best place for them to be is in China.
Minister of Health. Oh no, this Minister of Health, right? I thought you wanted a real doctor.
Because it seems to me like it's a circus we run in and all we have is a bunch of clowns.
Sorry. This is a government of a serious country, a country of intelligent people, a country that has won Nobel laureates for literature, a country that our citizens are doing the top surgeries, neurosurgeons in Europe, in England and so on, a country that produced great athletes, great businessmen, great intellectuals, great professors, teachers. And this is the government. That is the government, and they are telling you that that's the best they have to offer. This is not a joke. And I'm surprised that, well, I mean, the media is trying to help them, but we have to be smarter than that. They say they're #1. Archie, run the next day. I'll say, I want you to watch. I know all you're getting sick of the convent girl, but you all have to get so sick. Like what Karim Baird say, all you have to get so fed up that all you vote them out of Lavanti too. That them could lose 41, 39 yellow and 2 in Tobago. No, very serious, because this cannot be right. In government, you're supposed to try to be intelligent, work hard, experience, do something, be successful. But that man pick a bag of duns to drop on we, and people want to play sprinkle and vote for that. Play the next day, I'll sing for me.
UK has a testing rate of 242,929 per million. The point I'm trying to make, there is no standard put out by either WHO, CDC, or anyone that says all countries should achieve a testing rate of X per million. So when you take these numbers, you have to take them in isolation. So the constant chatter about Trinidad and Tobago's testing rate, there is no standard to compare it against to say it is high or it is low. For argument's sake, Trinidad's testing per million is about 6,000 tests per million. Ethiopia is 3,856. So in comparison to Ethiopia, we are doing well.
I thought we were number one in the world. So if we number one in the world, follow me, shouldn't he be comparing to South Korea, European countries, Canada, Norway, Denmark, Japan, even China? China did well by holding it down in Wuhan. It didn't spread across the whole of China. Shouldn't it be compared to New Zealand, Taiwan, some of these countries? Where he going to find Ethiopia? Ethiopia is not on any list of number one. Ethiopia in the ranking done by 168 items is about 180th in the world. So he going to find 180 to say we better than them because we is 168. But they coming to tell you in the manifesto, vote for me because we are number one. We are number one in COVID. You all want to read number one in COVID? Chief Medical Officer Dr. Roshan Parasham has said 102 persons associated with the 2020 Hero Caribbean Premier League CPL T20 tournament have already arrived and were to be joined yesterday by 67 others as preparations for the August 18th tournament continue. So 169 foreigners have entered your country and you did not even know it. While 11 schools have shut down for COVID, we have community spread. They're now redefining it. They say there's a wave. No, it's a peak. It's a cluster. All kind of thing them doing. Nowhere else in the world they have all them words defining COVID. And they are telling you that that is the number one item. Vote for them. Ladies and gentlemen, please, I'm begging. Let us vote with our brain. Let us vote for intelligent people. Let us vote for Kamala because Kamala has 6 doctors on her team that have created a COVID plan. Rowley cannot even find one doctor to join his team. Not one. Y'all don't find that strange? Y'all can't find that strange? If we were number one, let me ask y'all again because you know the Dogon like to present evidence to y'all. Do you know that citizens, our students and scholars trying to go back out to university, like some of them that go to Dublin, the very intelligent ones to study law and medicine and so on in Ireland. Ireland has created a system by which they consider you a green country. If you are a green country, you can come in. You can come into the island without any set of testing and so on. Right? Do you know that Trinidad and Tobago is not considered a green country? So all our scholars who want to leave have to get tests. They have to get 2 or 3 tests on the record before they can enter and go back to study in Dublin. But from New Zealand, you don't have to get no test. You could come in one time. Our citizens, our bright people who have to go Ireland have to go into 14-day quarantine and test over there, get tests here before they leave and test there because we are so badly off. Ireland does not consider us number one. If we were number one, entry will be green for green light, go. We on front, come in red light, stop, cool yourself, don't come here now, quarantine. Also, these scholars went to try to get tests in our health department under Dialsing, the convent girl, and they were told, no, we don't do that testing. We only testing people who are showing symptoms of fever and cough and sore throat. Really? When 81% of the people who contract COVID are asymptomatic, we have this dunce who could not even study for pharmacology to get a degree, telling us that he go keep us safe. Vote PNM. All your fire burn the PNM from Barataria, Sawa, straight across Trinidad and Tobago. And do you know that the children had to go by St. Clair $1,600 for a test? And St. Augustine, $1,100 for a test, but in the health department, they cannot get their tests. So, we're getting ready for Saddam Hussein. Let us go now just to show you all that the UNC, Saddam Hussein, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, from early o'clock, with her people, Dr. Fuad Khan, Dr. Tim Gopi Singh, Dr. Lakram Bodo, that they were ready, willing and able to keep us safe. And this bag of clown, a Dwayne who do it, a small pin, a tight pants, and a convent girl, you all want to vote for that? No. Like we want to dead? Play Tim Gopi Singh there for me and go back and watch the date when Tim Gopi Singh was trying to get serious things, to get the plan in place to protect this country. Go back and show what the PNM did.
The matter is urgent because there is a grave and urgent risk that the coronavirus could be spread to Trinidad and Tobago through visitor arrivals from countries with infected patients, bearing in mind that the virus could take up to 14 days to become apparent. The matter is of public importance because lives are at stake, and in the absence of appropriate contingency measures, there is the danger of the contagious coronavirus becoming an epidemic in Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, I am not satisfied that this qualifies under this standing order.
They're not satisfied that the pandemic, January 31st, the United National Congress was ready with a plan to protect and was willing, able to share that with those bag of incompetent human beings. So if a pandemic does not qualify for urgent debate, what does? Selling gasolina to Maduro? What does? Nothing? Now, this is my last point before I bring on the man who's going to bring Barataria San Juan safely into the hands of the United National Congress come August 10th. So share the live because we're going to get serious and I'm going to show you all the difference in intelligence. Do you all think I could sit down and discuss anything with that man who was living in Woodbrook and come and lie and tell all you was here all the time? You really feel so? I'm going to have an intelligent discussion with the next member of parliament for Barataria San Juan. But just before I do that, I do not ever even like to mention the name Hitler, because Hitler was one of the most dastardly, disgusting, inhumane, ridiculous human beings that have ever graced the planet Earth. Hitler is pure evil. So I would never discuss Hitler. I've never read anything about Hitler. I didn't care less what the hell Hitler had to say, what was his opinion, his motivation. I just think that he should be removed from the stain of history. Is such a disgrace. But do you know that Colmimbut, the Dwayne who do it, he not only studied Hitler, he read Hitler's manifesto, Mein Kampf. He not only read that, he had no shame that in the parliament, he quoted from Mein Kampf. He not only had no shame, he tweeted about Mein Kampf that Hitler said, when you want to produce, when you want a lie to be the truth, you just keep telling the lie and lie and lie and eventually it becomes the truth. That is called, remember, all you feel is joke I'm making? Archie, please put it up and let the people who are going to vote on August 10th understand this. What kind of human being would even read Mein Kampf? What kind of human being would even remember what Hitler did or what Hitler said or what anything about Hitler? And then what sort of human being would then boast about it publicly by tweeting it? And what human being would go in the parliament with something called the Hansard record and leave for eternity words that link him to the reading and digestion and analysis of Hitler's thoughts? Look at that. Colm Imbut Colm The Dwayne who tweets, this is where he tweeted. The big lie is a propaganda technique referred to by Adolf Hitler in Mein Kampf, where a colossal untruth is stated and repeated as if it must be true in order to influence a discussion in a direction that takes the lie for granted rather than critically question it. Take down that rubbish there quick. I feel like I'm getting a rash from that nasty Hitler thing. But that's what they do. They tested no one in COVID. They did not take COVID seriously. The first man who died with COVID was here for Carnival. They didn't test nobody. They didn't trace nobody. They got 4,000 tests from China and they didn't work. In 6 months, they have tested 6,000 people. They do not know what's going on. The borders are porous. They have opened the border to let in CPL to play cricket. They pay $1 million US for a useless CPL to put our lives in danger. The border is open from Ikakas to Shagaramas every day, and they keep telling you they are number one lie. We are number one lie. We are number one lie. Vote for us on COVID. Vote for us on COVID because they read Mein Kampf. Fire burn Mein Kampf. Fire burn the PNM. Fire burn Rowley on August 10th. We vote in UNC. We coming back. Saddam Hussein, Barataria San Juan, the UNC. We coming back now.
August 10th, 2020 is an election like no other, and you need a team like no other. Hunt, Haynes, Ram, Badarat, Naked, Orr, Tanku, Lee, Rambali, Garner, Lakis, Zakuru, Singh, Baird, Charles, Amin, Bodo, Charles, Walker, Munilal, Hussein, Hoyt, Benjamin, Ragbir, Ratiram, Stowe, Andrews, Indar Singh, Parry, Green, Sobers, Mohit, Obika, Roberts, Williams, David, John. Vote for the candidate and a leader you can trust. Kamla Prasad Bisesa.
Election day when you stay in your hand, it's for the UNC and the rising sun.
What time it is? What time it is?
The United National Congress. Why wait? Now is the time.
Back to Barataria San Juan with following proper COVID. Yes. Take it off there. Let me make some noise now. Barataria San Juan, you can make noise now. Now is the bacchanal time. Everybody social separate. Everybody taking care. Saddam Hussein, the next member of parliament for Barataria San Juan. I want to say a special good evening to you, sir. Tell me, how has the campaign been going? Talk to me.
Before I say that, Anil, let me welcome you to the UNC constituency of Barataria Sawa. Welcome to Douglas Politics. Anil, the campaign has been phenomenal. We have been on the streets. The energy is high. We are on our way to victory. At the end of the day, the PNM has no place, no space in Barataria. You have seen a movement, Anil. The ground is shaking. The ground is shaking. The people are frustrated with the PNM. And as I tell my supporters every night, Barataria Sawa wants an MP, not an MC.
And an MC in more ways than one.
Master of ceremonies. Master of ceremonies.
But he say master of ceremony, not the Douglas. The Douglas saying the other one, fireman. Yeah. So tell me, you've been walking around? Yeah. I mean, obviously, I made a statement earlier that Barataria San Juan is one of the constituencies that people take their politics very seriously. You cannot just walk and play music and feel them go vote for you. They want to hear from you. They want to hear about your policies. They want to read not only your national manifesto and your plan, but they want to read your constituency plan.
Anil, last Thursday, I presented the local manifesto for Barataria Sawa.
Let me show them.
We have a 90-day plan and a 5-year plan. We plan for the short term, the medium and the long term. Because we understand that the PNM has frustrated the people of this constituency. They have lost jobs under the PNM. Some of them would have lost their belongings due to flooding, the El Socorro South area. Persons crying out for housing. Who is responsible? The PNM at the end of the day is responsible. So this plan, Anil, we have a 90-day plan. to ensure that the youths are taken care of. The experience, the old people, the young people, everybody is included in this plan because we want to make Barataria Sawa one of the best constituency in Trinidad and Tobago. Look right here on El Socorro Main Road. Barataria Sawa should be the premier economic hub on the East-West Corridor, and we will ensure that this happens under Kamla Prasad Bisesa regime.
What you need to do that, what you plan to do to ensure that Barataria Samoa, after you become the member of parliament, that we generate economic development and growth from right here, create jobs for the people of Barataria, Samoa and environs.
The first thing we have to do is elect a UNC government.
Yes.
We need Kamla Prasad Bisesa. That's the first thing. After that, we have the economic transformation master plan. You know we have several projects in the annual, and we right here in the East-West Corridor will benefit from one of those projects, and that is the East-West Biotechnology Manufacturing Corridor.
Tell me about that. Right? Wait, that is big words. The Douglas not so bright. Read that again.
The East-West Biotechnology Manufacturing Corridor.
What is that?
That is going to develop medication. You're going to look for apparatus for the hospital. You know what that is going to do, Anil? Create jobs. There are bright, talented people in my constituency, young people with passes, degrees, and do have a job, sitting down home. This will stimulate the ground. It will stimulate young people. It will give them opportunities, jobs, for them to tap into their talents. And that is what we have to do in the UNC. Kamla Prasad Bisesa gave a young person like me an opportunity. So I have to open the door for other young people like myself. And we will do it right here, starting in Barataria Sawa. The East-West Corridor is going to be alive. We will get it working again. Kamla Prasad Bisesa has laid out our plan. We cannot depend on oil and gas anymore. Rowley is devoid of any idea. Camille Robinson Reggie said her next plan, a plan for the next 5 years is to relax. Well, we'll put her to relax.
Yes, please.
Right? And we will get Trinidad and Tobago working. We talk about diversification. You know what that means? We can't depend on oil and gas. We need to get revenue from other sources. Agriculture. From this project I just mentioned, the biotechnology manufacturing industry. We have tourism. We have all of the innovation park, the digital economy. Kamla Prasad Bisesa was talking plan while Rowley talking coquille broom. And that is what we have to do in the UNC. We have shown that we have performed in the past, 2010 to 2015. We have shown that we have done phenomenal. We have performed like no other government. Kamla Prasad Bisesa was the best Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Then what we get, Rowley. What has Rowley done for the last 5 years? You remember the old boat he buy?
He has, and let me tell you all, let me put it diplomatically, because next MP Saddam Hussein, he's a diplomat, unlike like Douglas. The Douglas was cough hard one time, you understand? So let me put it diplomatically. Rowley came in with a dream from since 1991 to be the Prime Minister, to be able to procure and procure without procurement. And that he certainly has done. He has procured. Let us welcome former senator and member and supporter and endorser of Saddam Hussein, the Honorable Nafisa Mohammed.
Assalamu alaikum, sister.
Good evening. How are you?
Good.
Talk to me, talk. Do we have on the camera? Actually, yes. I am glad to be in your constituency where you are born and grown up. You have come across and you are supporting this young man. Tell me why, please.
This young man could be my son. Look at him, how handsome, how very dynamic. He's a young attorney at law.
You can take off the mask.
He's a young attorney at law who recently came into this constituency and is seeking to represent all of us. And I have confidence that Saddam will live up to his name and represent us in a real significant way, especially in light of the issues that I recently disclosed to the national community as it relates to some of the happenings in our country and more so in our constituency and in our community. for persons living around here. Here we are in El Socorro Road. Just up the road there where the Nur Islam Masjid is located. That is the place where that is Farouk Avenue there, and Faisal Avenue is right at the corner. My mother is from Farouk Avenue, my father is from Faisal Avenue, and they are both buried in the cemetery right near here. And I feel very clear in my conscience today that what I have done is something that they taught me to do, which is to stand up for principle and to stand up for what is right. For years, I have had to live in a situation where my own relatives have always said to me, well, why are you still with the People's National Movement? And for those of you who know me, you know what a loyal, faithful person I have been in the People's National Movement. But what we endured here 2 years ago, I said Judgment Day is on the 10th of August, and we have to let our fingers speak. Every single resident of El Socorro, I am appealing to you to go out to the polls early in the morning and go and register your vote, because this is a democracy that is under threat. And Anil, to make matters worse, today I'm wearing a yellow coat. For the first time. And Ali would know how difficult that has been. But you know what really tripped me off? I could not believe my ears when I got a clip of Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley speaking at some political meeting, I think probably in the constituency that Clarence Rambarat is seeking to represent. And he had the audacity to say that I became a senior legal office advisor to the Prime Minister because I could not feed my family. Dr. Rowley, I want to tell you here tonight that you see that statement that you have made, that statement, that is the most demeaning, disgraceful, disgusting statement, and you continue to treat women with a certain amount of disdain, and I urge you to go and get some help. You need some serious treatment. You are a perpetrator of political abuse, and I am not the first or the only woman in Trinidad and Tobago who have had to endure your disgraceful behavior. You are the Prime Minister, and I respect the office of Prime Minister, but I also expected you to conduct yourself in a different way and treat people with respect, man. You are telling me that as if I was begging for a position to be a senior legal advisor. You are the one who asked me to come and help you. You are the one who asked me to come and work with you. Come on, Dr. Rowley. My dear citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, enough is enough. What I have said in my statement is something that can stand up to scrutiny. I am glad that Saddam Hussein is the candidate for this constituency, because we are going to have to rely on him, because Dr. Rowley and Faris Al-Rawi and Stuart Young and they have painted us with a brush of terror. To all the residents of El Socorro, I want to ask you, are we so dangerous? Do we look like terrorists to you? We are people who helped to build this community. We are people who helped to build this country. And to make those kinds of statements, when I heard the Attorney General respond to my statement, I said, oh God, it just confirmed all that I had in my mind, that this was a fabrication, and they continue to use that brush of terror to frighten people. They have destroyed the lives of families in this community. Young people in our community are unable to get a job because their names were called all in CNN and BBC all over the world, man. For what? For what? If you had so much of information, what did you do to ensure that you verified the accuracy of it before you did what you did? 5 families in El Socorro, their homes were raided. Where we are sitting now, where, Mustafa Lane is right across there. In Sultan Lane, in Pundit Street, Mohammedville. But worst of all is the invasion in the New Islam Masjid. When we got the report of what happened, they were actually scaling the walls and went in with dogs in the masjid. It's only after one of the brothers came and opened up for them, thank God, the better sense prevailed. And you know, sorry about that. I really didn't mean. But you know,
it wasn't you, don't worry.
Yes, but you know, they want to paint me and to paint us in a particular way and a particular light. But at the end of the day, when you have to go and register your vote on an election day, that is when the truth will prevail, you know. And I am urging every single right-thinking citizen of this constituency and in this country, go to the polls and let your fingers speak for the truth. Let us speak for justice. And what I see happening in this country, and you know, I am not going to limit my views here tonight to Dr. Rowley and what he said last night, you know. It really pains me to listen to the person who is the lady vice chairman of the People's National Movement, who is somebody I always call my political sister, Camille Robinson Regis, to hear her denigrating other women in the politics. It is really unacceptable. And they have been dropping, lowering the standards, and we must say enough is enough. And let us, with the youths that we have around us, this is the new generation. And I feel confident that once Saddam gets into office, he sat in the Joint Select Committee that dealt with several pieces of draconian legislation brought by the very same Faris Al-Rawi in the parliament. So he has had the experience, and he knows and understands the pain that we have been going through. And I feel confident with him being elected as your next parliamentary representative, some of these issues will easily be put to rest. I have that confidence in Saddam. He's a young man. He's the future of our nation. And we have many things. We are in very dangerous times. We know with COVID-19 and so, and with the whole economic downturn and all the challenges that we have. But in our community, in our area, with a man like Saddam, and we have been hearing about the economic plans and so, he will be able to translate it. The young people in this constituency, people need jobs. People have they might be pursuing their studies and they want to get opportunities. Saddam is a young man, and he will be able to represent the views of all, regardless of race, color, class, or creed. And I want to commend Saddam and the entire team who has been backing him for the manner in which he has brought Barataria Samoa to life in a manner that can only serve to bring us together in the way how my late uncle Kamaluddin Mohammed and my late father Shamsuddin Mohammed, for all these years of their lifetime, they right here in this community initiated projects and programs that help to bring the community and the constituencies together. And Saddam is on that beat. And I want to really wish him all the best and to hope and pray that as time goes by on Monday, folks, Monday is a real serious day, you know. You see what happened, but let me not go down that road. But Monday, with all this COVID fear and so, some people might give you a little trouble to go down to the polling station. But I want you to encourage everybody to get up early when you pray that morning. Ask God to please guide you so that when you go in the voting station, you will be able to make the right choice and put your X next to the, for the first time I'm saying it, to the rising sun. All right?
And that's the first time of many times that she will say it. because she will continue to support Saddam Hussein in 2020, 2025, 2030, because Barataria San 1 will be Saddam Hussein because of performance. The Honorable Nafisa Mohammed, let me on behalf of all right-thinking men in this country humbly apologize for the vicious attacks aimed at you from men in high office. Even though I do not support them, I feel embarrassed as a Trinbagonian man to listen to that sort of petty, evil, ridiculous, disrespectful attack on a woman of our country, especially a woman of your caliber who has lived your life as an example for all religions of all Trinidad and Tobago. People may not know, but Nafisa Mohammed and my mother were very, very, very close friends. And she saw me grow up, and I saw her conduct herself with the utmost class, character. And even though I did not remain in the PNM, I always have total, complete respect for Nafisa Mohammed and the way she carries herself, her intelligence. And if she made a decision because of the loyalty that was taught to her by her family and the way that she lives her life, she was able to take a lot of pressure but stay loyal. And for her to move from the PNM and the red and put on a yellow jacket and support Saddam Hussein, understand the pain and torture, the tipping point that she had to reach to make that decision. And to all of you out there, understand that. And the response by Keith Christopher Rowley, Faris Al-Rawi, Camille Robinson Regis is not short of disgraceful. And I apologize to you on their behalf, because they will never do that.
I want to apologize to Ms. Walker as well. Last night when I heard the manner in which he referred to the person who is opposing him in the elections, I was really stumped. I was shocked. And I hope and pray that from all of this we will learn, and our young ones will learn to respect, you know, people in whatever their background, and so treat women with respect, please. And I'm urging our dear political leader and Prime Minister, the political leader of the PNM, that it's about time. I mean, come now, get really and truly. I really believe that he needs some help, and let us help him by going out on Monday the 10th and putting the X next to the rising sun.
The rising sun, we coming back. The Nafisa Mohammed, we had a pause. We respect greatness. So we will come back with the young lion, Saddam Hussein, when we come back.
August 10th, 2020 is an election like no other, and you need a team like no other. Hunt, Haynes, Ran, Barataria, Naked, Or, Tanku, Lee, Rambali, Garner, Lakis, Zakuru, Singh, Baird, Charles, Amin, Bodo, Charles, Walker, Munilal, Hussein, Hoyt, Benjamin, Radbir, Ratiram, Stowe, Andrews, Indar Singh, Parry, Green, Sobers, Mohit, Obika, Roberts, Williams, David, John. Vote for the candidate and a leader you can trust. Kamla Prasad Bisesa.
Election day when you stay in your hand, it's for the UNC and the rising sun, 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 sun. What time it is? What time it is?
The United National Congress. Why wait? Now is the time.
Barataria San 1, make some noise. We are here. Ready for August 10th with the next member of parliament, the Honorable Saddam Hussein. Good evening once again, my brother. Share the life, share the life. We going.
Thank you, Anil. And thank you, Sister Nafisa. I mean, Barataria Sawa has really created the wave. And this wave is going to ride through the entire corridor, Anil. And I'm confident that around this time next week, Monday, we will be celebrating a new Prime Minister and a UNC government. We will be. But in order to do that, I want to set myself apart from my opponent. I have a plan, Anil. That fella don't have a plan. His plan is to go around the constituency with a cokie, a broom and sweep and paint people's house. That is not my plan. My plan is to develop the youth. My plan is to develop the business. My plan is to ensure that people, when rain fall, that they'll be raising the bed, but that they're pulling covers. Because there are places in my constituency where it floods for days. And that has been the neglect because of Rohan Sinanan and his incompetence and mismanagement of the Ministry of Works. Let me just go to El Socorro South tonight. El Socorro South, that is across the highway. There are 5 pumps there, Anil. And those pumps need replacing. They are ancient pumps. And we have, as a UNC government, I will ensure that I lobby the next Prime Minister, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, that those pumps are replaced in the quickest, shortest time to bring relief to those persons there. Because we will deal with that. We will deal with other infrastructural issues like the drains, clearing of drains. For example, there's one project I started, which is to engage young people in the constituency to assist their own community. We have been desilting drains. I believe we have desilted over 40 drains in this constituency already because of volunteerism. And you know, you just have to encourage people, Anil. And persons called my campaign office and said, for the last 10 years, the corporation has refused or neglected to even clean one drain. There have been 2 foot of silt in the drains. Then we started the sandbag project when Tropical Storm Gonzalo was coming. While JW busy taking a haircut, we was right here next door, full in sandbag, delivering to all over the constituency to prevent flooding from occurring. And tonight I want to give kudos to my team who assisted on that day. They are very hardworking, Anil. And once we have this team in place, we will ensure that this constituency doesn't suffer from anything. We will ensure that there is no neglect from the PNM. Because we have been able to mobilize resources outside of the corporation, outside of the government, to take care of our people right here in Barataria, Sawa. We want to also establish, Anil, hotspots. Right now there's a Wi-Fi hotspot. If you turn on your phone, you'll see free Wi-Fi. Because we understand, in this period of COVID, there are many children around the area who are asked to do SCA classes online, who are asked to take online classes, but they have no internet. They have no laptops. That is why when we become the next government, we will ensure that we give them laptops and we'll give them the Wi-Fi. We're going to do it.
Now, you just said something about volunteerism. So therefore, you are not of the opinion of Fitzgerald Hines that young people are lazy and don't want to sweat?
Of course not. They are sweating, they are toiling in the community because they want to live in a better place, Anil. Young people in here, you know, they're not asking for CPEP jobs and URP anymore. People come to my office every day and ask for sustainable, permanent jobs. And the UNC will ensure that we take care of the young people, Anil. We cannot continue to give handouts. We have to give hand-ups. That is what we have to give. Kamla Persad-Bissessar gave everybody hand-up in this country, not handouts. We must break that cycle. There are many young, talented people in this community. All they want is an opportunity, you know. And we will provide that opportunity right here in the House of the Rising Sun. We will ensure that we give these people jobs and opportunities. That will also impact on crime, Anil. That is something that has been affecting this constituency. Once we look at fixing all of these problems, it will be a brighter constituency for all of us. And we want to ensure that this is one of the premier constituencies that other constituencies will take a model of. Because if you look around in my campaign, tonight you would have seen it. Look how many young people that are around this campaign. Kamla Persad-Bissessar has been attracting the youth votes. She has been attracting the young people. And with my candidacy in this election, I will ensure that we take care of these young people.
Andy Douglas. Yes, man, make some noise. Andy Douglas will let you all know. When he say young people, it's young people of all ethnicities. Afro-Trinbagonian, Indian, different religions, all kind of people, all coming together as one team under the United National Congress. So Dr. Winford James, stop writing your rubbish. You do not know. You do not walk. You do not talk. The Douglas talk all over this country. I was in Cedras on Sunday. Back here in Sama, Barataria, Dago Martin, Lavanti, pass through, gone up in Malabar, gone Lauketa. and all across the country, people are fed up of this racial divide, of this race politics that the PNM tries to push. Fire burn that. Kamla Prasad Bisesa loves all people. Saddam Hussein.
I can tell you something, Anil. You can ask anyone from my campaign team tonight that I have walked every single street in Barataria, Sawa. Regardless whether it was a red PD, a yellow polling division, I have walked every street. And some people have seen me 2, 3, and 4 times in this constituency. And you know, it have JW. That fella, people are yet to see him right here in El Socorro. People are yet to see him in El Socorro South. People are yet to see him on Boundary Road. If you are vying to be the member of parliament for a particular seat, why are you neglecting persons and you are just the candidate? Imagine you are not the member of parliament, but you are neglecting places in your constituency. I promise that I will serve all of the people of Barataria Sawa. From Sunshine all the way to El Socorro South, to Barataria, to Boundary, to right here in El Socorro, I will be the MP for all of the people of Barataria Sawa, Anil. I may be a Muslim, but I will take care of my Hindu brothers, my Muslim brothers, my Christian brothers. My mother is half Hindu. My father is Muslim. I am both. But at the end of the day, I'm a practicing Muslim. But I respect all religions, Anil. I respect all races. There's only one race, which is the human race. And you know who taught us that? Kamla Prasad Bisesa. You were in her cabinet. You remembered her first mantra? Serve the people, serve the people, serve the people.
As you said that, I want to ask you, and I'm asking all my MPs who are going to be in parliament. When I was the MP for Dabadi Admira, on a Tuesday, I would see between 120 to 160 people. Because Kamla Prasad Bisesa says, stay there until the last person leave. Kamla Prasad Bisesa as Prime Minister every Tuesday and sometimes on Saturdays would see between 500 and 600 citizens in her office near the market in Siparia. And the Monday night forum on top of that. But do you know that the PNM policy, Colmin Butt, who has been the member of parliament for Diego Martin East for Lord knows how long, who laughed in the parliament when I told him that our UNC nearly beat him if we had sent 2 more maxi. He looked across at me and he laughed. He said, well, next time I'll campaign. That's the arrogance of Colmin Butt. But do you know that citizens have to take a number and they only have 25 little cardboard pieces? There is no 26. So anybody that does not reach in the top 25 does not get to see the member of parliament. What will be your policy on constituency days to serve the people as a member of parliament?
Anil, I can tell you that yes, we'll have designated constituency days, but every single day should be a constituency day if you are going to be a member of parliament. If you are not physically in your office, technology, give people your phone number, let them call you. We have Zoom, Skype, everything. There are certain ways in which we will serve the people, Anil. I promise, right here in the constituency office, I see almost 50 to 60 persons every single day since I was the candidate for this particular seat. And we are trying to bring relief. We have distributed over 400 hampers because people come here and say they don't have food in their house. Anil, how could we refuse someone who leaves your office when they say they don't have food in their house? We have distributed over 400 hampers right here. We have distributed wheelchairs already. We have ensured that we are cleaning the drains. I am not waiting for the 10th of August, you know. I am starting the work now. You know why? Because now is the time. Now is the time to get Trinidad and Tobago working again. And we have already started in Barataria Sawa to get Trinidad and Tobago working again. We are not waiting for an election.
Here in this office, how I've gone all over this country. And even the PNM is confusing themselves. Because they printed in an advertisement that they boasted that they did so well in COVID and they distributed 47,000 grants. But yet, by my calculation, 51,003 applications by 3 equals 153,009. So that they are very short. They are 100 and something thousand short of their grant checks. No businesses have received. They boast that 20,000 children got food card support during COVID. Not understanding that normally when school is out on, there are 48,000 children who get food support. So they left 28,000 children starving. And what is the position? What have you seen on the ground with regards to COVID relief in this constituency?
We have already started the COVID relief here. We are giving out the hampers. 400 I said we have given out. When we heard that there was the second wave of COVID coming, we have distributed 1,000 face masks to every
How many
single...
government masks have you seen? I have not seen one. Have you?
None, not a single mask.
But Convent Girl Dialsing, you said you gave out 600,000 masks. I have spoken to at least 62,000 people in the last 7 or 8 weeks. And I am meet one who say they receive a mask from the government.
Not a single mask was given out by the PNM in Barataria. We have people who have been evicted because they didn't get the rental grant. If they were giving out the salary relief grant, I would not have had the cost to give out 400 hampers. These are people who are unemployed for the last 3-4 months, who cannot get back their jobs. We have to take care of these people. Look, we understand that parents will be going through a tough time. We gave out SCA packages to every single primary school right here in Barataria, Sawa. Every single school. We have left no child behind who is writing the SCA exam. Because we understand that we have to do our part. While the government has all of the resources and is neglecting the people, while Rowley is busy playing golf, we are busy here working for the people. And all of this comes from the inspiration of our leader, you know. People could say, what about Kamala Persad-Bissessar? She will be the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. She will be. And you see, there's an interesting point that we discussed a couple nights ago, which was Stuart Young. Stuart Young has absented himself 57 times from the cabinet. You would know, Anil, you absent yourself from the cabinet because of a conflict of interest. Because you either have a personal interest or someone who is close to you has an interest in the decision that is going to be made. How many weeks are there in a year?
52.
And he absent himself 57 times. So Stuart Young was outside of the cabinet more times than he was inside. For a whole year, the man was outside of the cabinet. Then you had Faris Al-Rawi absenting himself for how many times? 38 times out of the cabinet. Why? Because of some personal conflict of interest. In the UNC, we ensure that we work for the ordinary man. But this clearly shows that the PNM continues to work for themselves, their families, their financiers, Faris, Foster, Stewart, Rowley, whoever, everybody, except the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And the people of Barataria Sawa, and I will say it again, the PNM has neglected the people of Barataria Sawa because the people here are suffering. They have no jobs. Some people have no food. Some people don't have a roof over their head. How can Keith Rowley, as the Prime Minister of this country, go to sleep every night knowing that there are children in this country who are hungry, that mothers have to go to the grocery and thief milk to feed their children? As a Prime Minister with a conscience, how can he do that?
He has no conscience. And let me just say on that recusal thing, and all you understand me, I was in the cabinet, so I understand. The Westminster system does not propose recusal as withdrawing or removing the collective cabinet responsibility from a sitting minister. Stuart Young is a clueless clown, and I wonder where he studied law. The Westminster system states, and the convention that we uphold, that if there is a decision to be made in cabinet that you are so wholly, spiritually, and mentally against, then you must resign. You resign if your cabinet is making a decision that of which you cannot support and you will not support, or you morally and ethically are totally diametrically opposed to that decision. Then Westminster says you resign from the cabinet, and therefore by resignation you withdrawn, you are removed from the collective responsibility of cabinet. A mere recusal does not suffice. For example, if you are ill and you miss a cabinet meeting and a decision is taken that you do not agree with, but you say, well, I was ill, it's absent, you are still a member of the cabinet and you are bound by that decision. So Stuart Young trying to say that he was against giving contract to people he say was cartel. Remember I tell only when I went up point 14. By when I pass in Labre, I only seen Calco. And as I hit point 14, I only seen Namalco. And I saying, but this PNM government say that these contractors are full of cartel and illegal activity. But they are giving them contracts left, right, and center. So Stuart Young, try to read a book now, because you're not too bright. So when you're not too bright, you must read a little extra. Recusal does not remove you from collective cabinet responsibility. If you were so opposed to Rowley's giving and awarding contracts to people that you are on record as saying, swearing an affidavit that they're in a cartel, then you should have resigned, your small pin clown. Back, that was just an intermission. Back to Saddam Hussein. How are you, sir? Let's talk about, sport. I love everything, but sport I have a little extra tinge, you understand? Talk to me about sport in Barataria, San Juan.
Well, Barataria is famous, Boundary Road, famous for football, right? Very big thing in this constituency. And I mean, we have to work with the youths. Look, there's one basketball court also right here in El Socorro. That court has been abandoned, grass has been overgrown. We will ensure that we will fix that.
So you don't have one court in the whole El Socorro?
It have another one in Barataria, right? That one has been, it's dilapidated though. We have to do work there. We have to repaint, we have to fence over. Then we look at the other one, that has to be repainted, grass has to be cut, we have to put lights, we have to put new nets, we have to put new baskets, everything we have to do there, Anil. Because you know why? They have done nothing. They have done absolutely nothing. Shamfa Kojo was the Minister of Sport. She don't know anything about sport, as you rightly said. Then I also have some plans that I want to do across the main road, which is in the Sunshine area, which is in the Bagatelle area, that we have to engage those youths there with sports. And although we have issues in this constituency, Anil, with land space, because it's a very compact area, right? Land space is very scarce. We will find space through negotiation to ensure that we place proper sporting facility north of the main road. Because that part of the constituency has to be taken care of. Because those are the persons who are asking for us to do things across there to engage the young people and the youth. And we will do as much as we can to ensure that there are sporting facilities there. With respect to the El Socorro, Boundary Road, Barataria area, we will work with the other stakeholders, the Don Miguel ground we will work with to ensure that we are going to have the ground up and running at all times. You see on my left here, that device that has been covered down, you can lift it off. That is actually, we bought this, Anil, and we are going to donate it.
We are seeing a nice, wow, a nice, turn the camera. And I only sit down and pretend like a jive it now, man. What do you call that? A mobile lawnmower, a field cutting device with Saddam Hussein working for you, UNC. That's what we're talking about.
We have received several complaints about grass not being cut on time on the grounds. We have acquired this machine and I'm donating it to all of the grounds in Barataria Sawa. You are free to use it, free of charge. At any time you want, it is at your disposal. This is your candidate working for you.
Now, I tell you, when I start to interview these young candidates, I just keep grilling them because I want you all people to understand this is what governance is about. This is the creativity. This is the information, this is the desire and the passion that will go into our cabinet, go into our government, be in an MP office. No longer will we have people saying, I'm not giving you a hamper because you're a UNC. How can you tell a hungry person you're not giving them a hamper? Who cares if they're UNC, PNM, whatever? A hungry person needs help from a member of parliament. When you swear on that Bible, you swear to be the member of parliament for the whole constituency, not peace who support you. The PNM has lost its way. They are arrogant. They are selfish. They take food out of children's mouth. They take money from special needs children. On August 10th, vote for heart, vote for love, vote for people. Vote for the United National Congress. So I still going to grill my boy Saddam Hussein in Barataria, San Juan. Now this constituency also is close to a kind of university, UE kind of. So tell me about what can be done for rental, for activities, recreation activities, study activities, Wi-Fi activities for the university students, and creating business for people in the burgesses that make up Barataria, San Juan.
Right. So we have the Wi-Fi going already. So we start off with that. There's one thing I especially want to ensure that after the 5 years I create. It's something called a meeting point annual. Most of the times you go to a coffee shop and you'll see young business people who have small businesses, they can't afford the rent, they can't afford to pay for our office. They will have these business meetings in a coffee shop. We want to ensure, and I saw this model in the USA, that we construct a facility whereby young people can pay just a very small fee and have a professional environment where they can meet their clients and their business associates, so that these young people can have a place and a safe space to have private confidential meetings, so that we have to give them a start. And it's going to be called a meeting point. So I want to ensure that I do that before the 5 years is over, once elected as a member of parliament for Barataria Sawa. When elected. The next thing I also want to do is to ensure that young people in this country, far too often, especially young couples, they complain that they have to rent. Most of their income goes every month into rent. They have to pay for groceries, rent. Instead of paying rent, we should be encouraging them to pay a mortgage. The government must ensure that we provide housing for these young families so that they can have a place and a space to call their own. How are you expecting these people to rent for their entire lives? We have to take care of these young people, Anil, because they want to start a family, and we must encourage this. We must not have houses being given because you want to put certain votes in certain seats. You must give equal opportunities and equal distribution of the state resources to every single body, regardless of their political affiliation, race, or religion. That is what we have to do. Also, when you're looking at the university being so close here, we're right on the perimeter of the bus route and the Eastern Main Road. We will have to create space right here so that we can generate income, because it's the proximity can encourage even doctors who work at the Mount Hope facility and may not be living in the area to rent right here. Again, raising revenue for the ordinary people right here in Barataria Sawa. For students, give them have places for them to house themselves right here so that they can reach to work early. Interns at the hospital, at the university campus, even right at Port of Spain. Because all you have to do is take one maxi and you reach Port of Spain in less than 10 minutes, you know. So we have to ensure that right here we create that economic hub. And as I said, we must convert Barataria Sawa into the premier economic hub of the East-West corridor.
Now, I must say it, and to all my people in Barataria Sawa, don't get vexed with me. But sometimes when I drive through, down so, it's not very clean, it's not very inviting. I want to get through quickly and go where I'm going fast. What are you going to do about the aesthetics of San Juan, Barataria, especially if you're going to encourage people from other constituencies to come here, spend money, come for recreation, entertainment, and so on? The place is in a complete mess. I can't lie, sorry if all you're vexing me, but the place need to be, I mean, oh Lord, the place dirty. I feel to bathe twice when I reach home.
And let me tell you something. We identify the problem with dumping and garbage in the constituency. We acquired 10 yellow bins. 10. And we placed these 10 bins all over the constituency. But it started to hurt some people's eyes. And I placed 2 bins right on the quasi, because business people were throwing their garbage onto the pavement, blocking persons from walking on the pavement. Do you know, within 24 hours, those 2 bins were removed by the corporation? Those 2 bins that I placed there to benefit the people of Sawa was removed by the Sawa-Laventil Regional Corporation. That is the political vindictiveness and desperation we are seeing from the PNM in this election. They are devoid of any plans and ideas. And when someone tries to place a betterment for the community, what did they do? They removed it. Can we really vote for these people? Can we take God out of our thoughts and place these people back in government? That they remove something that benefits the community. Again, that is one of the things we have implemented. The other thing we are going to roll out is recycling. Because recycling is something very important. We need to keep our environment clean. Right here in our campaign office, we already established plastic bottles recycling. So everybody throws their plastic bottles at the designated bins right here in the campaign office because we started from here. And we will ensure that we place these bins all over the constituency in an attempt to keep our environment safe. Because we could build how many buildings we want. We have to ensure that we keep a clean, green space for our future and our children's future.
As we starting to wrap up, tell me a little bit. Who is Saddam Hussein? Where went to primary school? Where your mother and father name? Where went to secondary school? How much O level again? How much A level again? Where went to university? How are you doing law school? Talk to me. Tell the people who is Saddam Hussein.
29 years old. Attorney at law at 23. Opposition senator at the age 26. Before I came out of law school, I was under the tutelage of Dana Sitahal. We went to the International Criminal Court and I was awarded the best prosecutor, beating Yale, Harvard, NYU, Oxford Hall. That competition was in New York. Then we went on to The Hague in Netherlands, and again we placed on the top 10 in the world in the ICC competition, so it's not no Al-Rawi getting here. I went to the Warrenville TIA school. I went to the Asher Boys College afterwards, and I am a student of a senior sec school. I went to Caribbean. I'm a senior comprehensive to do my A-levels. I did not go to these prestige schools. I am from the ground angle. I'm telling you. My mother, Diane Hussein, she was a maid. Then she saved up enough money. We opened a roti shop. My father.
We don't use maid again. She was a domestic helper or so on. Yes. No. Very important work. Very respectable work. Very hard work. And we must understand that. And so, I don't mean to correct you, but your mommy took care of other people, and that's where you get it from. Yes. So your heart, that's where you get your heart and soul from.
And my father, he used to drive chicken trucks, right, with the chicken companies, and they worked very hard to ensure that I had an education. And tonight, I thank them for giving me that opportunity. Yeah. And they have come out tonight to support us also. So it was a struggle, Anil. I did not have a very easy life growing up in terms of finances, but we made it. I spent 2 years in Barbados when I studied. When I came out of LLB, I went to the Hewarding Law School and I graduated on the Principal Rule of Honor. I also got the award for the best advocate in the school. Afterwards, I went on to work with a law firm in San Fernando, Ramnarayan and Prasad, where we did a lot of civil work. After then, I went to the office of the Director of Public Prosecution as a state prosecutor. And I made a sacrifice, Anil, that I had a permanent job. I was appointed by the JLSC. And I realized that that was not my calling. My calling was service to the people. So I resigned my permanent pensionable job as a state prosecutor to become an opposition senator so that I can work and be an advocate for the people in the Parliament of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And today, I have offered myself one step further to be the Member of Parliament for the people of Barataria Sawa. And tonight, I say to them that I am giving you all of me, and I would expect that you would give me your love and support on the 10th of August. Because together, we can work to ensure that we achieve greatness right here in Barataria Sanwan.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need not say another word. I thank you all for coming out, for supporting the next Member of Parliament for Barataria Sanwan, and for all of you who shared their life. I hope that you all have seen a little part of the brilliance, the humanity, the compassion, the thoughtfulness, the work ethic of Saddam Hussein, the next member of parliament for Barataria San Juan. With that, I say to Saddam, good night, sir. To all of you, we will see you all tomorrow. Again, I believe, Archie, we are in Chaguanas East and West together. Tomorrow, the door lines on United National Congress.
Of his devotion to action and performance right now. Saddam for the people, Saddam for the youth, Saddam for the country, Saddam for the truth, Saddam for the poor, Saddam for the law. Saddam is the cure. Saddam, it's only love, 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 love. Come together and give thanks and praise, thanks and praise, thanks and praise. It's only love, 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 love. To bring this country into better days, better days, better days. The resolution to all confusion and disillusion is a revolution of peace and unity. We are one. The motivation out of frustration is liberation, anticipation of action and performance right now. A demonstration to bless this nation, commemoration, manifestation of youth and innovation right now. We're marching forward in every hour. Barataria hour, unleash the power, cause now is the time, right here now. Saddam for the people, Saddam for the youth, Saddam for the country, Saddam for the truth, Saddam for the poor, Saddam for the law. Saddam is the cure. Saddam, it's only love, love, love. Make way, yes. The queen is coming, coming, coming. 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 The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is reverting to her throne. Hey babe, hey babe, hooray. Hey babe, hey babe, hooray. Hey babe, hey babe, hooray. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is reverting to her throne. Make way for Queen Licessa. Make way for UNC. We political leader guiding us to victory. Only snake in the body say every day is above all. Vote twice, it's on election day and extend from the balls. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne.